I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. They will drive our clean energy transition. They will keep the global supply chain secure. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. I started off as a kid in the civil rights movement in Wilmington, Delaware, when I was in high school. And the community, we won by a staggering 31 or 3,200 votes.
Wanders out of the room. Inspirational. Yes, this will need a radical makeover, but 70 million is what they're talking about. That could probably do a lot. Biden could just put together policies that help young people, but of course they're not going to do that. They just want to do enough to get reelected while their actual globalist agenda wrecks your country. That's favorable to actually doing a good job, because doing what's best for the people of this country is not what's best for Joe Biden and the people actually running this country. Laura Trump joins me tonight. It's good to have you back on. Your father-in-law, I should say, heads to Michigan tomorrow. They dragged Biden there today to just barely beat him to Michigan. He speaks for 58 seconds. He hangs out for 11 minutes and he disappears. What vigor.
Yeah, it is, as you said, very inspiring to see Joe Biden nearly fall down the stairs, even though he is wearing the new tennis shoes we heard about, to get out there for the full 11 minutes. What a waste of money, by the way. And we're all paying, ladies and gentlemen of this country, for the Air Force One, for the plane that flew Joe Biden there to Michigan. It's really amazing to see. And then there he is with the auto workers, as you just said, Rob, while he's simultaneously trying to end their jobs by pushing so hard for electric cars. And let's not forget the fact that he's there with them saying, we need to get you more money, while simultaneously flooding the market with cheap labor from all these illegal immigrants that have poured over the southern border on his watch. It's incredible to see, but you're right. They wouldn't have to try so hard to make Joe Biden look cool if they actually had policies that positively impacted this country. We know they don't. We know that people are fed up. We know that 3 in 5 Democrats want anyone other than Joe Biden to be running. 36% of independents actually think he's doing a decent job. That is very low for someone running for re-election. So they have a huge problem on their hands. Unfortunately for Joe Biden and the Democrats, I think today probably would have been better off if he would have just stayed sipping his warm milk at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Yeah, and you make such a great point about what he's doing to that industry. I mean, this is a guy that when he was running, he's talking about getting rid of all gas cars. I mean, that's what he wants. He wants to phase all of this out. He wants to go completely green. When you build these electric cars, they don't require nearly the manpower of gas-powered cars. I mean, if he had his way, if he could flip the switch, as they say, and just do it, I mean, there'd be thousands of those union workers would be booted out, and those companies would be building electric cars with far fewer staff. Yeah, not only that, but if you even got to half of the cars that he wants to see on the road as electric vehicles right now, and they all went and plugged in at the same time, it would break down our power grid. We couldn't even handle it. And let's not forget, where do you actually get the energy for fueling these electric vehicles? It, of course, usually comes from fossil fuels. The whole thing is so insulting and ridiculous to the American people, yet here we are suffering under still super high gas prices, $1.87. I'll remind people, when Donald Trump was in office. I think people are ready for those days to come back. I think the polls certainly indicate that. I want to get to some breaking news tonight about your father-in-law. A judge in New York ruling former President Trump is liable for fraud in part of the Letitia James case. The accusation, the Trump Organization inflated asset values and defrauded banks who were loaning him money. Now, it's worth noting that these banks are more than capable of doing their own due diligence on loans that they're handing out, obviously loans that they were making a fortune on by loaning money to former President Trump as he was doing projects in New York. The fact that this is even a legal case to begin with, your thoughts? I mean, it's obvious what's going on here. This is more persecution of our family. This is Letitia James, don't forget, who was an attorney general running not to, of course, protect the people of New York, but simply to take down Donald Trump, just like so many of these other woke Democrat DAs across the country. And what you said there is very important, Rob. There was no allegation by any bank that there was ever an issue, because there was never a loan defaulted on by the Trump organization. These loans were paid back in full. These banks made hundreds of millions of dollars thanks to the Trump organization, and they did do their own due diligence. So Letitia James had to piece this together and coordinate this with a judge who obviously was out for blood with Donald Trump. I will tell you, this will make no difference to Donald Trump either. The goal is obvious. The goal is to get him to be in ruins and to say enough is enough. I quit. I back down. I want to bow out of this. It's never going to happen. These people are disgusting and a disgrace to our entire judicial system here in the United States of America. Unfortunately for them, this will stop nothing for Donald Trump, and he will continue on.
And when is this useless AG that we have here in New York going to file those same allegations, those same charges against every real estate developer in the city who's been doing the same thing as long as this rock has been here and as long as we've been developing it? It's just comical. Laura Trump, always good to have you on. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.